Live at 5, this is 13 News Now.
At least one person is dead after a train carrying GOP lawmakers collided with a truck in Virginia.
Right now, investigators are trying to figure out how this happened. Hello, I'm David Allen.
And I'm Janet Roach. Here's what we know at this point. A group of Republican lawmakers, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, was headed to a retreat in West Virginia when their Amtrak train hit a garbage truck near Charlottesville. One person is dead and at least one person has a serious injury. But neither of those people is a member of Congress or a staffer. A congressman on board described the frightening moments.
We're on our way to our conference, about 450 individuals on the train, number of both House and Senate members. When we abruptly hit a garbage truck, to have that type of impact at 70 miles an hour without any braking, it was quite a shock.
Several people, including at least one lawmaker, went to the hospital with minor injuries. In a tweet, Ryan said, "We are grateful for the first responders who rushed to the scene."
Members of the North Carolina congressional delegation were among those on the train. Check out this tweet from Representative Virginia Fox. She says she is okay and believes most others on the train are too. She also said she is praying for everyone affected. Virginia Congressman Rob Whitman also tweeted about the crash. He wasn't on the train, but said he is praying that everyone is safe.
13 News Now is tracking all of the reaction from lawmakers and the latest updates from investigators. We'll continue to bring you updates on air and on 13newsnow.com.
New information in the criminal cases against the owner of Coastal Dog Services. Today, the charges involving the deaths of 2 dogs at the facility were set aside for now.
One of those involved a dog named Fenway, whose case made headlines last year. 13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens was in court where he spoke with Fenway's owner. He joins us live.
Hey, Janet, it's not what Fenway's owners wanted to hear today. It's not what Bruce's owners wanted to hear today as well. Rick Tavalia was in court again. Those 2 charges against him and Coastal Dog Services, 2 of them dropped, 2 of them dismissed, and you'll hear from Rick Tavalia in a moment. He had a few things to say as he was leaving the courtroom today, but let me update you on what happened today. Now, in that June 23rd case involving Bruce, the dog that died at Coastal Dog Services last summer, the defense made a motion to strike the evidence. The judge granted the motion, and that case was dismissed. Now, in the August 26th case involving the death of Fenway, which is why we were here today and why Jason Fox was here today, the city attorney moved to no pros. So the judge granted that motion and the charges were removed from the docket. Again, those charges dismissed and dropped for now. Here's Rick Tavalia, what he had to say as he was leaving the courtroom a few moments ago.
It's a tragedy. Well, the charges were dismissed, which means there was never enough evidence against me. And I told you that 6 months ago.
And I spoke with Jason Fox not too long ago as well. He says he's going to get his attorney to contact the city attorney's office to try to figure out how they can get those charges refiled. So this is not the end. They're hoping this is not the end of the case for Fenway. We'll have much more coming up at 6 from court today here in Newport News. Live in Newport News, I'm Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.
Former U.S. Navy commander has pleaded guilty in a massive corruption scandal. Troy Aidmanson has pleaded guilty to bribery and conspiracy. He was responsible for coordinating the Navy's joint military exercises with foreign countries. Over an 8-year period, Aidmanson says he accepted bribes in exchange for helping a Malaysian businessman named Fat Leonard Francis. So far, 20 people have pleaded guilty in that scandal.
An odd discovery has people on edge in Perquimans County. A group of people found a skull while walking in the woods. Now authorities are trying to figure out where it came from. 13 News Now reporter Megan Shin is live in Perquimans County. And Megan, you spoke with one of the people who found it.
That's right, you guys. I just got off the phone with one of the people that found it, and they said they didn't expect to find it back behind this embankment when searching to collect some driftwood on a Saturday just before noon.
Down Webb Street in Hertford.
This time of year is
real peaceful.
4 unsuspected Virginia Beach residents walked around the banks of Albemarle Sound.
Wood kind of piles up right there.
Glenn Hertzberg was collecting driftwood with his wife and friends Lloyd and Linda.
And I make really cool stuff out of it.
This is a picture of Lloyd 30 minutes before he walked into the trees.
And at one point he climbed up at the bank and he was walking up on top of there, and then he just saw it just laying there.
Well, apparently they found a human skull.
Huntsberger says that's when they called the sheriff's office.
2 came, and then I happened to be out front here, and a 3rd deputy came.
Gary McGovern is Huntsberger's neighbor who didn't want to show his face. He says he's lived here for 3 years.
Certainly the first time that we've run across it.
The Perquimans County Sheriff says it could take weeks before they know the identity of the person. Well, Sheriff White tells us that they did pick it up and take it to the medical examiners in Greenville. They hope to have the identity found out in the next several weeks, including doing an exam of the actual skull and a dental check as well. Stay with us on 13 News Now at 6 o'clock. We'll tell you who the sheriff thinks the skull could possibly be. Reporting live, I'm Megan Shen, 13 News Now.
A live look at the Virginia Beach Oceanfront, where there's talk of developing the old Dome site. And tonight you can weigh in on the plans. The site sits on about 10 acres between 18th Street and 20th Street. Now the city is considering turning the space into a live entertainment venue. Virginia Beach's own superstar producer Pharrell Williams is a partner in the project. The concept includes residential units, restaurants, and a surf park. Tonight, there's a planning workshop for the public. It's from 6 to 8 at the Virginia Beach Convention Center.
There's a new name for the Portsmouth Pavilion. Today, the city announced it's now the Union Bank and Trust Pavilion. Union is sponsoring the amphitheater for the next 5 years. This comes as Union expands into Hampton Roads with their recent merger with Zenith Bank. The mayor was at the big announcement.
This is a great bank, and it's a great partnership between the city of Portsmouth and Union Bank and Trust. And when people think of Union Pavilion, they'll think about 2 things. They'll think about this great venue, but they'll also think about this great bank, too.
The venue was called Intellos Pavilion until 2016, and it seats 6,500 people.
There was a boost in security at Nansemond River High School today in Suffolk after a potential threat. The school sent home a letter. It said officials received information about something posted on social media that made them feel the need to increase security. They added metal detector checkpoints, and we're told classes went on without incident. A man caught fire while working on a boiler in Suffolk. The accident happened this morning off Carolina Road. Emergency crews airlifted the man to Centera Norfolk General Hospital, where we find 13 News Now reporter Jacqueline Lee. And Jacqueline, he's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, Janet, that man is hanging on to his life inside that hospital. Now, he was working on a boiler when he caught fire. He has life-threatening injuries, and now all his friends and family can do is wait. John Kravchak said today started out as any typical morning here at Urban Architectural Products in Suffolk.
The guys came into work and were getting ready to light the boiler and get the heat going, and that's when the accident happened.
A temporary worker caught on fire from an outside boiler, all because of a flash fire, according to authorities.
It's pretty tragic. It's an accident. You know, it's not a phone call you want to get, and it's sad. We just hope that he pulls through. Everything's okay. It's been classified as an industrial accident, according to city officials. Kravchak tells me the man had been working on and off for the company for the past 3 to 4 months. He said coworkers are struggling to come to terms with what happened. They're pretty shaken up by it. You know, it wasn't a pretty sight from what I understand. And we wanted to know the circumstances surrounding that boiler and how the fire was able to spread to that worker. We'll have all those details coming up on 13 News Now at 6. Live in Norfolk, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
Fire crews went back to the scene of a weekend mulch fire in Virginia Beach. This is viewer video of the fire that rekindled today in a mulch yard near Oceana. The fire first started on Saturday. Right now, we don't know what caused the initial fire or what caused it to re-spark today.